A man who has got a massive heart.
He's driven, he's determined, and he's a dynamic man. And he inspires not just all the staff at Jamie's Farm, but all the kids and families who come here as well.
So I grew up round here, a child of an architect, not a farmer, and my rebellion in life was almost trying to become a farmer. Through various twists and turns, I ended up becoming a teacher in London. And while teaching in London, I started to look at the opportunities I'd had, the privileges I'd had growing up in the countryside, and thought of ways of taking particularly the more challenging kids back to my mother's farm up the road to start to give them experiences like I'd had growing up, to see if that could really give them some taste of hard work and a taste of how it felt to really engage and work hard and see the results of that. I gave up teaching in 2005. In 2006, we bought the first ever group to my mum's farm. We piloted it 10 times, and then in 2009 we went full-time, and then it grew from there.
We've now set up 4 stunning environments across the country. We welcome over 2,000 kids a year, including the City Farm in London, to get an experience that Jamie was lucky enough to have, but that a lot of kids, particularly from our inner cities, have never had the chance to be part of.
The biggest challenge for us is breaking through what can be quite a hard exterior. And so with some children, it can take maybe up to 2 or 3 days for them to start to shed that. But that's where the kind of skill of our staff comes in, is trying to break that cycle, trying to get them to trust and trying to get them to loosen up a bit so that they can really make the most of the experience.
I was a very sort of quiet, not in myself, huge bubble that I never want to pop, and it was popped when I was there that week. And I was kicking and screaming coming to this place, I didn't want to. But then got in the door, came through, and within like 5 seconds, I immediately was like, wow, this is great. For me, it feels so safe. I never go here feeling like something terrible is going to go wrong. The safeness of this place is probably the most important to me.
We've had a lot of children who have never seen a cow, never seen a sheep. I've had a child ask me what we're going to do with these cow puppies. The kids really don't know where milk comes from. They don't understand where their vegetables come from. But I would say kids are incredibly malleable, and the way that they get into it is incredible. And we've had children who, within half an hour of arriving on the farm, are delivering a lamb, literally delivering a lamb. And so seeing that transformation every week is something that all of our staff never tire of.
The variety and the pace at which we work is something that's great for me. I love it, that's how I love to work, but also it's great for the kids who come. You know, they come here for 5 days, but it feels a lot longer because we pack so much in and we've got this kind of desperate need to achieve, which actually comes from Jamie himself.
When those kids get up in the morning, they go and feed the animals before they get fed. And I think that sense of purpose really drives them forward and almost takes them out of themselves and stops them worrying about their own problems and gives them a kind of purpose and a focus that can make them feel really good. So every day on this farm, there'll be farming activities, there'll be cooking activities, there'll be gardening activities, some arts and some crafts using wool from the farm and materials that are available here. Every day the children will go on a long walk, so 3 to 6 miles around this beautiful valley. For a lot of kids, they've never walked that far in their lives, but they're expected to do it every day here.
It's not just a holiday. You know, this is something that's designed to make long-term change for those young people. And if we don't do that, then we don't feel we've been successful, even if they've had a wonderful time when they're with us. And for us, the key measure is how they're getting on 6 months after their stay.
We build strong, lasting partnerships with the schools, so we'll see a lot of the children as they develop back at school. And we record a lot of data around how they're doing in terms of attendance.
And in particular, we look at their well-being, so how confident they are about themselves and whether they're at risk of exclusion anymore. So for us, it's really important that they stay in mainstream education so that they can get the support from their teachers that they need. Over 60% of the young people who were at risk of exclusion were no longer at risk 6 months after they came to Jamie's Farms. So the fact that 60% of them aren't ending up in that place because of us is something that we're really proud of. I think what this place shows is the social good that can come from this kind of work. For him, you know, this combines 2 of his great passions in life, which is the farming, which he's done from a very young age, and this idea of giving back and supporting kids who have been less fortunate than him.
I've spent my life trying to persuade people that I am actually a farmer. and it kind of feels like a real endorsement of my credentials in that, so I'm really touched by that. But I also feel amazed that this kind of work has been recognised, and I feel really happy on behalf of our organisation, other organisations who are trying to support vulnerable kids to get out of the city. This whole sector has been recognised through this award, really.